Hey everyone, it's Victoria Rooney. I'm here at the Northeast Film Festival Horror Fest, and I'm joined by
Johnny Ferri.
Liz Bauer.
Perfect. So tell me a little bit for you, what the project you were involved in, what was your role, and I know you're a producer as well, which is very exciting. And then you tell me about you, what do you do, and what are you here for today?
So I am an actor and a producer and a writer, and I have a film called Bring on the Damned, which is an anthology, a horror comedy anthology that is also a musical and a sci-fi film, and it has 5 different segments that are all different genres, and I think everyone will enjoy it.
Yes, everything. I love it.
So I am a supervisor of special education compliance in Plainfield. Formerly, I was a school psychologist in Teaneck for about 6.5 years. I just left last March, so I know this town very well. Yeah, it's like my second home, and I love this movie. It's fun. It's a great mix of funny comedy stuff with gory horror things and like scary, creepy things. But it's a really good project, and I've been on it since the beginning.
Yes, you've seen it from the start.
So to see it come together is amazing because it took a very long time to film everything and get all the editing done, and so to see it come to fruition is an amazing experience.
Yes, definitely. So I know last time we talked a little bit about acting. Let's talk about producing and writing. So you said that's something they're trying to get into more. So just being a producer on this film, was this your first time producing, and how was that, and what was the process like for you?
This was actually not my first time producing. I have done some associate producing and stuff like that. I worked prior to being an actor and being involved with this film. I worked at Trauma Entertainment. I worked in the office. I was a sales and marketing director, and I did a lot of like PR stuff, which is how I met the director.
Skills,
Yes, I picked up a lot of in-office production stuff, a lot of pre-production stuff that, you know, funding. Everyone talks about funding and stuff. That's and locations, all that kind of stuff. So I want to have a good idea of like every aspect. I want to direct, so I want to kind of have that overall view. Yes. So this was the first time I was actually fully a producer. I've associate produced one other feature and some shorts, but this was the first time I had like a real say. Yes, I kind of knew like what to expect. Although I didn't have as pivotal role as I did in this film as I did on anything else that I've done. But it was great, and it was a great experience, and I would love to do it again.
Yeah, definitely. And now watching it come to life, what do you take away from it, and then what do you hope that other people take away from it?
Well, I think you have to realize how much effort and work went into it with very little funding, and that they made the film look like a list film with barely any funding, and they really put so much effort into it. And from the beginning, watching it and seeing all the things they had to do and all the late nights, and it went on forever, and I was like, is this ever gonna happen? So to see it finally come out and the full thing, and every segment is unique, and I feel like they also all come together as one. So it's amazing to see the process, and he's being modest, but he did many things other than produce. Like, depending on the day, he would be the camera guy, the microphone guy.
I did a lot of different things.
So he did a lot on the movie, and you can tell the effort and everything that was put into it, and like their hearts are in it. So I think that makes it more enjoyable to watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, that's great, and especially having all that knowledge and taking it and stepping in where you need to. That's very important, and that the fact that you said little budget, having to work with that sometimes could be a challenge. That could slow down everything, but it seems like you kept it going. So what was your kind of process through it all, in the sense of, did you, obviously challenges occurred, they appeared, did you just kind of keep going? Did you always just be optimistic with it, or did you deal with it at the moment? What was your kind of attitude towards that?
Well, luckily, even though we were working on a small budget, we made the whole feature-length film for $20,000, and like some segments are found footage, so like some of them look like they were not made for much money, but then other things look like they had like $100,000 budgets.
Dance scenes,
yes, and that does not look like a $20,000 segment.
The dance scene is my favorite, and I had the pleasure of being in another room at his request while he did the Zoom practice dances with the choreographer. But you got to see it when he was out.
Yeah. When I had to do it for real.
One of the best things.
When I did it for real, I had to do it in front of like 80 people. So, eventually I had to let her see it.
Yeah, of
course. But there really wasn't any like big hiccups other than money related stuff. But since we got to shoot the segments separately over different periods of time, it would be like if we have $4,000 for this segment, like maybe like Brandon said, maybe we blow it all on that disco scene, and then you kind of just scrounge things together. You know, if you have like 3 or 4 more shooting days and a couple $100, like we make it work. That's
and they were very resourceful.
Yes.
Because a few times they had locations secured, and then they weren't able to do it on the day of so they shifted and moved things around and were able to get everything done. It was amazing process. It was an amazing process.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. And now tell me a little bit about writing. So you said that that's something that you do. Have you, wrote before different films, different short films?
I have written shorts, and I have things that I have in mind for feature length.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
I haven't had anything
in mind for the future?
I'm really like I've been like kind of doing like slowly stepping up. So acting, then moving into producing, and like now kind of studying under Brandon. And I got to learn a little bit from Lloyd Kaufman while working at Trauma. So like learning how to try to make something on a small budget. If I don't have $500,000, like I need to know what I can do from a script point of view. But I think I have a lot of interesting ideas in terms of sci-fi and action. I want to make stuff that I loved growing up, because I know people from my generation all love the movies from like the late 80s, the early 90s. Like the movies aren't the same, and people aren't really looking for the same thing, but like people in certain age groups all like horror, they all like sci-fi. Of course. It gives you, like you said, it gives you flexibility when you do something like sci-fi. Like there's no limits when you do sci-fi. That's why I've always liked sci-fi.
No, definitely. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to see what's next. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me. Now, do you still want to shout out your social media? Where can we find you?
Yes. On Instagram, we are Bring On the Damned. You'll notice our blood-covered lead actress is our photo. I love it. And pretty much any account, like if you search Bring On the Damned anywhere on Google, like it'll be our thing popping up, IMDb, Instagram.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can follow along there. And then do you want to shout out any social media?
Well, Johnny Ferri.
Perfect.
On Instagram and Facebook. And
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Can't wait to check it out. Thank you guys.
Thank you.